Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Star Trek Discovery Season 1, Episode 13. It's called What's Past is Prologue. Full spoilers for the episode as always. Apologies, this is a day late than we usually have it up. I'll just be honest, Connor fell asleep. This is basically the gist of it.
Yeah. I was wondering how long it was going to take for you to drop me in it. Not very.
Not very. I like to put you in in the doghouse. I like to put you in the doghouse early, so everyone's watching is just like,
You just want to make sure you can't be blamed.
Pretty much. Unless it is my fault, in which case you will definitely let them know it's my fault, so you can't say shit when I let them know it's your fault.
No,
so, we were very lukewarm on last week's episode. We thought the reveal of Lorca was sort of mishandled. And we were kind of we actually forgot to talk about one element of it. I'm shocked that we did. We didn't really touch on the sexual element they kind of threw in there as well at the last minute, which was that Lorca with this Michael on Mirror Universe had a weird grooming and then sexual relationship where he kind of helped raise her, and then they became a thing, and she was like his second in command. She was like his apprentice essentially, if you're going Star Wars terms.
I think the reason I forgot to mention, at least from my perspective, is it kind of has no impact.
It just comes out of nowhere.
It comes out of nowhere. Lorca has never shown any sexual advances towards Michael.
Not really. I mean, you can go back and you can look at the way he always insists, "Oh, I'm bringing you on board," and she keeps questioning. He keeps coming up with these reasons. These like, "Oh, because you think outside the box and you do this," and really, the whole time it's just that he has this.
Right. But even if you take out that and just still have, oh no, she was on his side, all the rest of the stuff that happened, everything still plays the same.
Yeah, it'd still work. If it was just a loyal second in command, yeah, it would still play. There's a couple of moments in this episode that kind of uses it a little bit, and we'll talk about those when we get there. Right, so that was the thing. So we thought that was mishandled. The reaction to our opinion on that was kind of divisive because there was a few different comments disagreeing with us. Plenty of people did agree with us as well. So clearly it's like, it's putting lines down the fan groups at certain points at this point.
It's funny because we said there was too many plots, and I know in a Facebook group you said that, and someone replied saying, "Oh, it's the same amount of plots as usual," and it is, except it was a significantly shorter episode than average.
It's not even the problem that it's a shorter episode. It's like, okay, so there's normally an A, B, and C plot, right? That's maybe a typical TV show. Yeah. But the plots they were doing and the amount they were packing into them needed more time. That was kind of the point of that comment. Yeah.
Right, that's what I mean, though. Like, it was a shorter episode. I mean, this one was 45, maybe? That was 39, but they've kind of gone up. They're typically between the 45 and 50 range, so that felt significantly shorter.
What I'm saying is, though, I don't think that extra 5 minutes or even 10 minutes would have really been enough to do it.
Maybe not. No.
I think a couple of those things needed, like, either to get more time or a standalone episode to themselves, or they should have been exploring it for a few episodes as a subplot, rather than just all squished in the one episode. So I guess the question is, how did we feel with this week's episode? And I think the first thing I want to say now. So I said full spoilers because I'm going to start off with saying that Locke is dead, right? that's important. But the reason why I'm saying that now, I know that he kind of fell into the framework core thing that like the Mirror World had on the Big Queen ship, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, sci-fi shenanigans could happen. We could see him again through some wacky nonsense, right? Yeah. That is entirely possible. Even if that happens, though, I'm going to say this. All of that build-up, all season to the reveal who he really is, and we get him in his true persona for one episode?
I agree, but that's probably my biggest problem with this episode.
What? Oh, that was a complaint. Why did that sound like sounds like you're disagreeing with me? That is a complaint. That's what I'm saying.
No, it is. I'm saying that's probably my biggest problem with this episode, though. Like, generally speaking, I thought everything it was doing was really good.
I do you know that's the thing? So they're having the big fight towards the end, right? And like Michael just can't do it because she's too good. She's not going to kill him. She's not a killer. She doesn't want to be that. And obviously Giorgio, who's kind of Giorgio. I always say her name wrong. Giorgio. Philippa, right? She like says, but I will, and stabs him in the back with the sword. And I just groaned. It had no impact on me other than that I was just kind of annoyed. Like, what, really? We're taking him out like this that quick? Now, again, he could come back. We could get sci-fi shenanigans. But here's the thing. I was already disappointed that it was this simple, that he was just the evil leader. Like, this is kind of a thing. In this episode, he is just an evil guy, and there's no depth to him. It's
I know
level.
Last week we were saying that he wasn't necessarily evil. Because, he definitely wanted to overthrow the Emperor and become the Emperor himself, but that didn't mean he was necessarily doing it for evil reasons. He could have been, he was against the regime, was trying to overthrow it from the inside, was something we speculated. Nah, he hates the Federation. Screw it all.
Yeah. And I feel like there was so much to explore with like those difference in opinions, those different ideologies, right? And the one time in this episode I really got excited, or I really felt like a moment from something that was said, it was when Michael has him at gunpoint, with the phaser, and she just yells out, "We would have helped you if you'd just asked, because that's who we are." When she says that, I'm like, that was a good goddamn line. That is poking at exactly what I want to be explored with this idea, with this plot.
And that's about 12 seconds before he's stabbed through the chest.
Exactly. That's it, and he's gone. And I can't believe that we spent all season building up to this, and like very quickly, he's just an evil guy with his army. Okay, well at least maybe now he's a nemesis, and we can have some sort of back and forth between them. No, he's dead by the end of the episode.
No, I agree. That's definitely my biggest problem, because I enjoyed everything they were doing with him. I was fine with him just being evil nemesis, because I still felt like, he has presence, and they've got a rivalry. And I was looking forward to seeing that play out over the rest of the season.
All 2 episodes of it.
Well, yeah, but even that 3-episode arc at the end with that could have been really solid, in my opinion. But no, it's more frustrating because I was enjoying the episode so much. Because unlike last week, this was an extremely focused episode.
It was extremely focused. There was no Tyler at all in this one. It was just all about what Michael's doing on the mothership and what the Discovery's doing, and sort of in correlation with what she's doing.
It was always to do with the one thing, though. There was no side plots. No, that's focused.
That's true. I do think some of the action in this episode was a bit like, I mean, it was solid, right? Don't get me wrong, it was solid. But there was at times I was like, yeah, this is definitely not like classic Star Trek, in the sense that, and this is not just this show's fault. This is also true of the recent movies and whatever, but there was a point where there was just phaser blasts going off all over the place, and there was like just murdering left and right. I went,
oh no, I know what you mean. It's a symptom of, okay, this is a modern show. It can't be, we can't have the stilted fights of the 60s.
At one point, Lorca shuts off the life support on like a floor, and you just see like people suffocating and dying. Like, just the cameras.
I love this stuff. I thought this stuff was excellent.
I'm not complaining so much as I'm just observing.
It's because we've been obviously watching through the original series, so it feels like such a dramatic shift.
That is more of an observation than a complaint.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily bother me, and there's some fun stuff. I do like when he comes on comms and he's talking to her through the ship, and he's saying all these things, but that was kind of where I was also starting to like be disappointed with just who he was, because it was just, no, I hate the Federation and your pathetic cult-like ideologies. And I liked it was sort of poking at that. Like, I was like, okay, let's explore that, and then it never really does.
Oh, that's the biggest disappointment. Is I'm okay with them going that route, but they don't do that either. They kind of set it up.
I think I just thought he was more interesting, and then when it turned out to just be a moustache twirling villain, it was just kind of like, oh, he's actually it's just this simple. It's this simple.
I can't argue with that.
And I did think it was a little bit clunky how there was just like a big explanation at the start as to how he ended up on the main universe, where he just sort of describes it, and you get like a little flashback as he's talking about it.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily need that, but
yeah, I think the implication is because he was escaping on a ship, and he was phasing as he was going through an ion storm. And the ion storm did something because he was mid-phase, and it seemed like it swapped the 2 Lorcas. So presumably the real Lorca just sort of went to that side and died instantly because the ship was about to go. So
presumably, yeah.
But no, yeah. The most interested I got was when Michael says, "We would have helped you if you'd asked."
I know. I thought that was great. I really wanted to see more, because he didn't really get a chance to react after that.
Yeah.
But you were talking about the opposing ideologies. Him going, yeah, but I didn't want your help. I didn't want to ask.
Yeah, and that's interesting. That would be great stuff to explore, and it just kind of... And this is the other thing, we've got 2 episodes left. At the end of the episode, we actually get back to the main universe, and we'll talk about what happens when we get there, but it sets up like a new thing. And all I could help but feel at the end was like, No, give the final 2 episodes to flesh out everything we just did. Make that last over 3 episodes. Give us
I was saying, I wanted 3 episodes. May not seem a lot considering we've been building to this, but I thought, okay, no, that's a solid amount for a story with Lorca.
And
then this ending, I'm like, that's how you end your season.
Yeah, end your season here. End this, because I feel like if we're going to deal with this for 2 episodes, like either it's going to be really rushed, or it's going to be like there for 2 episodes, and then we're going to just leave there before it comes back next season.
That's the thing. The moment itself is like, no, that's how you end the season.
Yeah, that'd have been a fine season cliffhanger. What ends this episode?
Yeah.
But so. Yeah, I think it's a stronger episode than last week because it is more focused and there's a lot of fun action stuff. There's all this kind of things, but I still I have fundamental problems with the choices they've made and what they wanted to focus on.
This is the thing. As an episode, I think it's fantastic. As its place in the larger season, I see problems.
I think it's a good episode if this was like a standalone plot that was somewhere in the middle, as the climax to the plot that we've been building to all season. It is kind of atrocious.
I wouldn't go that far because I was into it right up until he was stabbed. Right up until he's gone, I'm like I was really into it.
That's fair. I don't know. I think the leftover like disappointment from last week, like they had to prove themselves to me early on in this one.
That's fair.
And it never really it just kind of kept rolling with the same pace.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this show could do with slowing down at times. I think it moves too fast.
Here definitely. I think early on it was kind of just going, okay, we're getting through things. It did slow down a bit.
Yeah.
After 7, when we kind of set up this half of the season, and that stuff was, as we said, the point that's been the best.
Oh yeah, like see the first 2 episodes, like when we came back, and it was like them like putting the costumes on and like realizing where they were. Like I liked all that stuff. It was great. I felt like it was building up.
Time exploring this universe has been. Well, that was the show at its best.
It felt like it just rushed the climax.
And like I said, this should have been a 3-episode thing. This final part, I don't understand why it wasn't.
I don't either. It's just weird creative choices. That is all. Because it's not like. Because it's not like the next episode's going to be cheaper as a result. Like no, all the episodes are expensive. It's not like they're trying to save money by rushing this.
Yeah, they clearly don't give a damn.
Like it's purely just a creative choice, and I don't understand why. It's weird.
It is strange.
Because I remember last week we thought, oh, maybe they got 2 extra episodes because they were putting too much into the last couple, so they split them up. Because we said last week felt like it might have been split from like a larger thing before. That turns that's completely wrong now that I've seen this one because clearly they've got other things to do.
This was it. Yeah.
Yeah. This would have been the finale. Whether or not this was the finale, and because I mean, if this was just the finale and then they added on 2 episodes, I'm really curious to what these 2 episodes are and how it ends.
Yeah. That's the thing. If this was the finale, I'd get it. I'd still be underwhelmed, but I'd understand it. I'd go, okay, right. Last week's reveal should have been earlier.
Yeah,
but at least I'd understand it structurally, even if I would say it was flawed. Now I'm like, okay, what have we got here now?
It makes me wonder if the next 2 episodes are going to basically be what the pilot was, where it's like the prologue to the next story.
Okay.
Where it's like a standalone 2-hour thing that sets up what the main plot's going to be in season 2.
Maybe they're not airing it as a double, are they?
No, it's 2 separate weeks.
Okay.
At least from memory anyway, but I think I'm pretty sure that's the case.
That sounds right, but. I really don't know what they're doing, and part of me is fascinated by that because I really have no clue. It's kind of nice to be excited, it's
really, really bizarre creative choices. I mean, I did like some moments. I like when Michael's like doing her plan and she brings in Philippa. I'll just say Philippa, and she's like, "Hey, so I'm offering myself for my crew. Like, you let my ship go and all the crew on it, and." Like I'll be your side and I'll do everything you basically want. But I like when she added on at the end. But make this clear: I'm offering my mind to you, nothing more. Like, and that's another thing that I feel like should have been explored was her reaction to finding out that other Michael was like in this weird sexual relationship with him. Like I feel like there's more. I mean, we might get some after effects of that when she really stops and thinks about it. But
it's disappointing not to have that against him.
Yeah, it really is. Like have her be creeped out. Have her. I don't know, just feel something for it. And there's a couple of glances. There's a moment where he's talking over the comms, and she's like sneaking around with a gun, and he says something like, "No one harms Michael, right? She is not to." He's giving orders, and she hears that, and she kind of looks up, and there's a bit of a look in her face, and I'm like, "Oh, that's what she's thinking about right now." But it never really did anything else with it.
It doesn't.
So that kind of stuff. I mean, I do have this is a minor complaint compared to everything else. So Stamets is back, and he's setting everything up, and the network's failing. and they think, okay, we're going to blow this core because this core they've got on the ship is what's corrupting it, and it might end the multiverse. So that's kind of, you know, what he's saying.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, we can go ahead and blast it, but we will die as well because the wave that's going to come out of it will incinerate us. And at this point as well, they've also decided that they've not got enough of the bio stuff left to actually use use the network and drive and jump drive anywhere. And they present this, and they're talking to Michael over the comms. They're sneaking a conversation. She's like, you know, hacked in and sent out a message, and they're talking over the comms. And it's kind of like Michael's basically saying, "Yeah, I'll drop the shield on the core," which is basically a suicide mission, and they're saying, "Yeah, we'll come in and destroy it," which is also a suicide mission. But they're going to save not only their universe but every universe. They're going to save life, and you know, so it's this big sacrifice thing. And the very next scene we get of Stamets and Tilly is Tilly thinking of a way that they can get out.
Yeah, a little bit of time for that.
Yeah. It felt like you set it up, and then the very next scene with those characters. No, here's how we just get out of it.
I kind of get it in the sense of, no, this is to show that even though they're willing to die, they don't want to. You know, it's you know, life tries to survive. You know, it's them going, no, okay, we'll think of a way out. But it does feel like a scene in between would have really helped. Just one scene of them accepting it, or at least
accepting it, or just a scene of Tilly like actually tinkering and maybe like trying to like think of things or get the idea, or
yeah,
I don't know. Who probably deserves a promotion, by the way. She saved the whole crew.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she'll get one.
Yeah, I think she's deserved it.
Something I did like that I feel like we haven't got much on this show is Saru doing the captain's log.
Yeah, no, I did like that. I like that as a nice way.
I can't really remember any other instances of the captain's log.
I'm
sure there must have been some.
Yeah, I think Michael had like a first officer's log back in the pilot, if I recall.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But it hasn't been a
constant
common thing.
Yeah.
No, so it was nice.
No, I do actually kind of like Saru as captain. And again, I wish I had more of this, but I liked that he basically stood up in front of the crew and said, "Yeah, this is not Lorca's ship. This is our ship." And like, you know, I like that scene, and I thought, oh no, let's get more of that.
He gives a good speech, doesn't he?
I like Saru being in the captain's chair, and I like him when they do get back at the end. I like that when Stamets comes over and he's like, "Hey, so we're back in our universe. That's the good news. Bad news is we overshot by 9 months." I was actually, I'll be honest, see because they actually said this might happen before, because he's like, "Oh, but we need to make sure we get back to the right universe and the right time." And I went, "Oh, time, so they're going to get back."
Going, okay, when are they going? Because he says, "Oh, we overshot," and I'm like, "Oh, right." Oh.
And when they first brought it up, I actually genuinely thought, are they going to like shoot past all the other shows? Like,
yeah, I considered it as well. Like, is that how this is a thing? They never share this technology.
Yeah. Well, not only that, just the idea that, okay, now we can just do wacky things because we're not before the original series. We're in a whole new world at that point. Like, this was almost like a bluff on the show creators' part where they're like, "Oh, it's a prequel series." Ah, no, just kidding, not really.
It was for a bit.
This was just an origin story till we got to what we really wanted to do with it next year. Unfortunately, though, it just ends up in 9 months, which I'm not really complaining about, but it's just I had all these wacky ideas in my head as it was.
No, same.
But in 9 months, and of course, okay, so I bet the war's not going too well. Because that's the thing, like, this show started being all about a Klingon war, and then we got so distracted with this mirror universe stuff that we came back and it's like, oh yeah, how's that war going? And it seems like they've won, which...
The Klingons.
The Klingons, yes. The Klingons have won.
You made that sound like we'd won.
Oh, sure, sorry. The Klingons have won, which means I'm pretty sure there's going to be more timey-wimey stuff to stop this from happening. I'm pretty sure,
yeah, that's where we're going for these next two. Which is why I get, okay, this is 2 episodes of time travel, basically. But don't know where it ends now for the season, whereas I felt like, okay, no, that's how you end a season.
Yeah.
And again, I know, okay, starting next season, we'll do some time travel and undo this, because we don't lose the war. But
yeah, but that could be a whole season, a plot.
It could, yeah.
Is being in this alternate timeline where the Klingons won and they're in charge.
And I think that'd be an interesting thing for the show to do. You know, okay, so we did alternate universe, now I'll do an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
It could have been really interesting, but instead it's going to be 2 episodes and then I don't know what next year. We'll see if we get any hints at the end of this. It might end up really neat and not give us anything to go on.
Or they don't actually solve it in 2 episodes. They just get into a deeper, which would be weird as the last 2 episodes of a season. But
yeah, that if that's the case, that would be like, no, this should have just where you ended your season.
Yeah. So Giorgio, as in Mirror Giorgio, is actually on the ship. Michael, because she kind of has a little heroic moment where she sort of decides, hey, like, I'm an emperor who's been seen as weak now. Like, you know, no matter what, I'm going down. So I'll fight them off. You'll leave. And Michael's beaming aboard, and she makes the choice last second to jump and grab her. So we have alternate Giorgio, who, I mean, so we got Michelle Yeoh back, which is funny because Isaac's who we thought was the regular, and her who we thought was the guest star. Like, he's gone now. At least, I mean, maybe not entirely. We might see him, sci-fi shenanigans, of course. But it's funny that we have her back. So, I could see that could be an interesting story, like her actually like learning the ideals of our world and the Federation, and like, disregarding and becoming a better person. That could be like a redemption story in there.
There could be interesting stuff to do. And obviously we see she can really handle herself in action. She's extremely flexible. Legs everywhere.
Well, yeah, she's Michelle. Have you not seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
No, I have. I'm just saying. It was like, okay, she's just blocking, Lorca's throwing a knife at her. Oh, I'll block that with my foot. I'm cool.
Yeah, the actual hand-to-hand combat was good. Like, this is the thing. The actual action in most of the scenes on their own in this episode are mostly pretty good.
It's why I say I think it's a very good episode. It's just it falters when you look at it in the larger view of the season.
Yeah. And I think ultimately that outweighs it, unfortunately. Because,
that's fair.
Because I don't think I've groaned as much as when Lorca gets stabbed. I'm like, what, really?
No, that's fair. And I was kind of growing to like this evil Lorca. Like you say, okay, he's very mustache twirly, but where he's got Stamets over the pit, and he's like, it's poetic. It's all this poetic justice. You're the scientist who killed by his creation. And he's like, nah, I don't give a shit about poetry. Kill him. Yeah,
it was Mirror Stamets, just to clarify that detail. No, which is like, it's fine, but it was very much chewing the scenery in a lot of ways as well.
He was, but I like Isaacs enough that it worked for me.
Yeah. Hopefully the last two can pick up a bit and give us maybe just a solid two-parter about this. Oh shit, we've went too far and the Klingons have won. Can we get back and go back before this and help our side win or whatever?
Yeah, but I feel like I enjoyed watching this. When I'm watching it, very enjoyable. Whereas last week I was watching it and going, okay, this is all over the place.
Yeah.
So this is definitely significantly better than last week's. It just stumbles at the end, mainly the end anyway. Yeah,
I think. Yeah, it is a much better episode in and of itself, but a lot of it feels like an episode that's the end of a two-parter for the middle of the season, and not the conclusion to what we've been building to all season long with Isaac's character. It's really weird on that front, and it makes because that was the stuff that was generally exciting when we started noticing people are saying things that imply he's acting differently, and we're like, oh, mirror universe, are we going here? And it just, it feels like it just kind of fell flat at the end, which is a shame.
I'm excited to see how the crew operate in the regular universe with this experience and this knowledge, though. See how they, if they're reacting differently, how they treat the Klingon War now they've seen this version where it's like, oh no, Klingons can be reasoned with.
Yeah, that should be interesting. I mean, obviously my worry is they didn't explore all the stuff with Isaac's character that I was hoping they would with the different ideologies.
So that maybe they won't with this. Yeah. No, it's quite possible.
So now that's a constant concern. If I was to make a guess, now is that maybe Saru will stay captain. He'll actually be, not just acting captain. He'll be given the captain's chair, and I can see what he'll do to keep Michael around. Is he'll give her first officer.
I can see that as well.
He'll make that, because he calls her his friend in this episode as well, which is obviously a big difference. Go back to the first few episodes after the pilot, where he was acting weird around and he was scared of her. To now,
I feel like Saru has benefited some of the most from the mirror universe, because he was very timid before, and now he's like, no, he's very captainly.
Oh yeah, I was going to mention this when Stamets tells him that they're 9 months over. He just makes this little click with his mouth, and I liked it. It was a great little fear thing. It was just good.
It was good. I've been really enjoying his character a lot.
So that's cool. So no, I hope. Yeah, and I hope the experiences reaffirm Michael's belief in the Federation, and why you just don't overthrow your captain when you think you've got the right choice.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, her speech to Lorca about, we would have helped you. It seems like, oh no, she kind of understands the Federation better than she ever has done. So hopefully that'll, have a lasting effect on her.
Yeah, hopefully. So that's episode 20, not 20, 13, sorry.
Could I say, where are you going with this?
I don't know. It's cause...
How many months did you overshoot?
Well, if there was that many episodes, it'd be about, what, 4 months, 5 months, something like that. Regardless, that's episode 13. Better, but not without issues. So
Yeah,
hopefully...
Good, but problematic.
Problematic. Still rough around the edges. You know what? I know this is going to be a weird thing to some people, and I know some people will hate this statement I'm about to make, but I'm really hoping that season 2, far removed from Brian Fuller, can get away from some of his stink.
See, that's the thing. We don't really know how involved... Early on, definitely. And we know he plotted overall, but ideas he might have plotted, I don't know how involved he was in the pacing.
Well, this is the thing, though. Like, a lot of the problems I've had with the show the whole time, where, you know, it feels just like it's a little rough around the edges, and it feels like it's not given, like, enough time to certain things to, like, focus on and actually get to the heart of the characters. You know, the characters... we've kind of cared about them a bit over the course of the season, almost through just the fact that we keep getting them, of course.
Yes.
Whereas you can do it much earlier than that, and the show never did. And that's typically my problem with filler shows, is that I feel it's missing the human, like, heart element. Like, you know, that's what I thought was missing from a lot. And people are going to be, like, streaming Pushing Daisies at me.
Yeah, I'm holding myself back.
I watched the pilot, I didn't like it, didn't watch it anymore. I don't care. I'm glad it was cancelled.
I love that show.
Glad it was cancelled.
Yeah, well, so was Firefly, so screw you.
And where was the Pushing Daisies movie to wrap everything up?
It's coming. It's coming.
What is it?
Oh,
is
yeah.
it? You'll be Pushing Daisies by the time that releases.
Very good. Very good. It's relatively witty for you. I'll allow it.
But yeah, so I remain hopeful, but yeah, I did run a lot of the Isaac's death. That really pissed me off.
There's such a good show at its core here that it just needs to hone in on.
I can see a good show in there, but it needs to refine, it needs to find its feet, and yeah. I thought it was doing that for a few episodes.
Me too.
And then it kind of plummeted.
I am still very hopeful for season 2, though.
I'm hopeful. Yeah, I'm hopeful. So anyway, so let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. And if you disagree, if you love this episode, that's great. By the way, like people who liked last week's episode and told us like that's fine. Like cool. Like
I'm happy for it.
Yeah, that's great. But like yeah, we just. Yeah, we're feeling a little bit rough with it right now. But, so yeah, so let us know what you think. Comment, subscribe, all the rest of it, and all that other stuff we always do. Get us on patreon.com/MailFuzzTV if you want to support the channel. There'll be a link in the description. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?